Okay, welcome back to part 2 of maintenance on the 4840. Grab my bucket and throw it underneath here. We also ran this tractor last fall of 21, on the grain cart, and it actually worked out pretty good. That's also one reason why we also put the big tall tires on. It actually raises the tractor up, that way you can see when you're loading up the semi. Also, just a quick note, I know I've not said anything for a while, but for anybody watching this, if you're tuning in to see a farm channel that's got all the fancy music and all the fancy editing, well, guess what? You're out of luck, at least here anyway, because I'm not going to do all that. My videos are about as close to being real time as possible. I shoot the video, and in fact, if I know I'm not going to be needing my phone for a little while, I'll snap the video, turn right around and post it. So my videos are uncut and unedited, about as real time as you can get. So that's just a little side note. Okay, but like I say, these almost said videos again. I already said that part, talking about editing. These filters. Here's this one here. It looks almost kind of like the transmission filter on the 8070, very similar anyway. But same thing, they're a canister type. And so that's got one opened. And these here, well, actually, take that back. This one here is actually not marked. On the 4955, it actually has stamped here in the casting. It'll say, I'm pretty sure this front one here is the transmission, and the back one back there is the hydraulic filter. And if I remember right, it's actually stamped in the casting right here. It says trans, back there, HYD for hydraulic. I see this one here does not have that. In fact, when we got this tractor, I changed of course, just like I always do every year. Well, take that back. Every spring, I change all the filter on our 4 main tractors. I change everything, all filters, from front to back. This tractor here, when we got it, it's got the old John Deere 8-speed power shift transmission. And generally, you can always feel it, at least on both our 4840s, shifting from, I'm trying to remember now, between second and third gear, you get quite a jump. And then it's pretty smooth up until 7th gear. Then actually shifting from 7th gear to 8th gear, you get a big jump because you got a clutch pack change. However, this tractor in particular, when we got it, okay, see that filter just pulls right out of there just like that, right over top that draw bolt. I always kind of like to look down in there just to see if you can kind of see any kind of potential shavings or anything like that. And so far, no, we're good and clean. That's good. But on this one here, compared to the other 4840, it had not been changed for who knows how long. And I could tell it, because when you go to shift gears, it would really jump and grab, and it was like it was struggling to shift. After I changed oil, aside from just the general clutch pack change that you get, it took all that out of it. And so it had been way too long since the oil had been changed, or the filters too, for that matter. Okay, and that just simply goes right around, seats back in, and you're good to go again. Okay, move the bucket back and I'll hit that back filter, and I'll have that one. Now let me go ahead and open up the box. Now, most people, they just run it until it literally falls apart without doing anything. But I always like to put all new filter, like I say, on all of our main, on our four main tractors, I change all the filters, hydraulic, transmission, air, and fuel. I change every year. And so, it just keeps everything working good. Okay, hopefully you can see that halfway decent. Okay, there the filter's popping out and the oil's draining. Good. There it goes. Kind of looks like grape juice. I said this tractor is a late model year 78, and our other 4840, it's actually a 1982. And so we kind of have on both ends of the spectrum. 78 was the first year for the 40 series, and 82 was the last year. And then they went from 4840 to 4850. And I'm trying to remember here, the 4850, well, the 50 series, I think, ran from 1983 up through 1988, if I remember correctly, because our 4955 is a 1989. And the 4955 replaced the 4850. Just a little bit bigger tractor. And then if I remember correctly, I think just from what I've seen, the 55 series ran from 89. No, I'm trying to remember. I think through about 92 or so, approximately, because I think it was 93 and 94 is when they actually came out with the 60 series, the 4960. And they basically look the same, but one of the main things that they did differently with the 60 series was regarding the exhaust pipe and the air intake. On the 55 series, the series just before that, the air intake and the exhaust pipe still come up right through the hood, right out in front of you. On the 60 series, pull you out of my pocket. On the 60 series, they somehow set it up to where the air intake is right here in the nose. There's like a screen going across, and the air filter still sits right there. And then the exhaust pipe curves down, kind of coming back out of this corner, and then up here along beside this cab post and points out. And so that opens up your field of vision a lot more. Like I say, that's basically the main difference between the 55 and 60. In fact, just a little side note, if you ever watched Dumb and Dumber, the movie, there is actually a 4960 in that movie. You'll see it where, I think, you'll see where the old sheepdog passes a John Deere tractor going down a 2-lane highway. And one of the Facebook groups I'm on, I pulled the movie up on my, at home, when I was at home, and when I got to that part, take a little ether here and clean this all off. When I got to that part, I paused it and took a picture. I took that picture and posted it on a John Deere Facebook group I'm on. Just trying to find out what size tractor it was, because you could see that it was a 60 series because of the exhaust pipe. However, I didn't know if it was a 4560, a 4760, or a 4960. And some people said they thought it was a 4760. However, I actually had a guy comment back to me and say that it was a 4960 because that part of the movie was shot not too far from where he lived, well, actually still lives, in Colorado. And so, no, I thought that was kind of neat. So anyway, but hey, that's changing the transmission and hydraulic. Like I say, old Big Bun's a second. And the air filters all changed. I just have to, in fact, surprisingly, the fuel filters, Napa was not able to get them. Right here they both are. Right there's one. They sit side by side on like a little bank hookup. And they've always been able to get them. Well, so like everything else, they couldn't get them. And so thankfully I was able to go through John Deere and actually get them lined up. And so I'll be getting those here within the next, they should, hopefully next week is when I'll be getting them. But anyway, aside from that, once I get those changed, all the filters will be changed. Oil, like I've said previously, I actually changed that whenever it needs it, and so it doesn't get changed with everything else. It's just when it gets enough hours, I run 200 hours, and when the hours get up to 200 hours, I change it. Just basically whenever that is. It may be in the springtime, summer, fall, or however that part works out. And so anyway, like I say, this is part 2, and I think that's got this big guy about ready to go. Take care.